Good evening, everybody. It's Lorraine, Alternative Homesteading, and it is raining here in eastern Kentucky. It is 44 degrees, and the temperature is supposed to drop to -1 degree, which means that everything's going to turn to ice. I texted my daughter a little while ago, and it is -7 degrees in the Midwest. And she said it is so cold that her dog doesn't even want to go for a walk. um, but I wanted to, I wanted to read this brief letter that I received, this email from that gorilla person. I'll show you folks here. So this was on December 20th. I will not be responding to this individual. His comments are not wanted. I do not want an interview with him. But this is what he says. You going to take a voice interview, or am I going to have to publicly shame you on YouTube? Almost nothing you say is fucking true. And you need to be challenged for once in your life. Take some scrutiny. Welcome some tough questions. Don't be one of those people we see on the news who run from the journalists and say, no comment, quote unquote, and slam the door. We all hate those people, don't we? So don't be that person. Take an interview. I will never interview with this moron. He's rude, he's vile, he's vulgar. There is nothing that he says is true. He has no credentials, evidently no education. And this is not the way a normal, and I use that word loosely, quote unquote, a normal individual corresponds with someone they have never met. And this is what happens through the internet. And many years ago, and actually I don't think anybody knows this about me except some of my close friends. I was on AOL for a very long time. I still have an AOL account, but I very rarely use it. But back in the day, AOL had chats. And people would chat via not text message. It was like a messaging system where if somebody saw that you were online, they could send you like an instant message and it would appear on your screen so you could have a quick chat with them. I've met so many people that way who turned into long-term friends, and even a guy that I dated for a really long time. But back in the day, me and a couple of other friends, a friend in California, noticed this phenomenon that you can actually have feelings for someone over the internet. So we wanted to see how many people, quote unquote, fell in love over the internet. So we actually set up a messaging through chats to question people if they've met people online. Now, this is I'm telling you folks, this is a long time ago. I'm going to say I was still married, so it's a really long time ago. The challenges of the internet and being somebody different than you really are in person was very different then. Nobody thought about it. Everybody thought, well, you are who you are. Nobody questioned it. And then people were actually breaking their marriages, flying across the country, marrying strangers, getting raped, getting beaten, all kinds of crazy stuff. But anyway, AOL actually contacted me personally to ask me to host a chat. It was actually a pretty big deal for AOL to do that. based upon, I guess, the quote-unquote counseling that we were doing and collecting all of this research information on how people fall in love over the internet. But I digress a little bit, because you can be anyone that you want to be through the written word, through the internet, when you are not seeing somebody face to face. And Mr. Dan, the man, the gorilla guy, I guarantee that there is no way you could look me in the eye. Ever. And I am who I am. I am who I say I am. And when you say that nothing I say is true, well, I have to tell you, idiot, that I have a very extensive education with extremely high grades, honor levels. I always have been, since I'm a child. So is my daughter, and so is my father. My father was considered to be a genius. He was a chess champion. He worked for IBM in the International Research Department. I have had multiple businesses of my own. I don't need to justify myself to somebody like you. I look down on people like you. I want nothing to do with people like you. I like respectful people. People have something to offer the world. People who I want to be around. People who I want to correspond with, that I learn from. You are none of those people to me. So if you contact me again, I will make sure to report you to the authorities. Because right now, I'm telling you right now, I want no contact from you. Not under this email address, not under another email address, not under your fake email addresses. Do not contact me again. If you contact me again, I will consider it to be stalking, and I will report you to the appropriate authorities. Whether I'm targeted or not, you are leaving me more than enough evidence. You have provided it in writing. And just for the record, for anybody that knows, I had a stalker many, many, many years ago. And it was this very thing that got a restraining order. When I went before the judge, and the judge saw that I specifically told this person to never contact me again, and then he did via email just like this, based upon that email, she granted me a restraining order. So I'm going to rest my case on that, and we're going to move on to the next thing. Next topic. Okay, next topic is, I just received this document. And I can't say that I have not seen this document before, but it is 20 pages long. It's a little bit tedious. I'm really not in the mood to read it right now, but I will read some of the headings for you. It's the Department of the Army, United States Army Intelligence and Security Command Freedom of Information document from 2006, December 13. And it's to a Mr. Friedman, a Donald Friedman, I guess. He sent the request to the Army regarding Fort Meade bioeffects of selected non-lethal weapons. Now, folks, in my opinion and experience, non-lethal weapons is an oxymoron. Any one of these weapons can be lethal, but they usually have an experienced individual operating it. If they actually killed you, there would be an investigation. It's slow kill, folks. We all know that. So I'm going to scroll down here because this is the general topics that they're referring to, and you could see here that it's signed by the director. And then we scroll down to the topics. It's unclassified bioeffects of selected non-lethal weapons. This addendum to the Non-Lethal Technologies Worldwide Study addresses in summary some of the most often asked questions of non-lethal weapon technology, the physiological responses observed in clinical settings of the biophysical coupling and susceptibility of personnel to non-lethal effects weapons. These results identify and validate some aspects of maturing non-lethal technologies that may likely be encountered or used as non-lethal effectors in the future, including laser and other light phenomenon, radio frequency directed energy, and oral bioeffects. And you know, we all have an aura. An aura is an energy field around your body. Some people can actually see the aura of another individual, and I know that there are times when I can see the aura of another individual. I have sat like actually in a boardroom, literally bored, and look around and you know blur my vision, and I can see the aura above somebody's head. Not everybody, obviously, and then you know sometimes you can see a color, sometimes it's just the light. But the study here of electromagnetic fields and their influence on biological systems is increasing rapidly. Now, this is 2006, folks. Much of this work is taking place because of health concerns. For example, increased concern has arisen regarding the effects of operator exposure to the electromagnetic fields associated with shortwave diathermy devices, high-power microwave ovens, radar systems, magnetic resonance imaging units, etc. There's also much concern that has arisen about extremely low frequencies. That's ELF, extremely low frequencies. So I'm going to scroll past a little bit and read some of the headings for you guys. Incapacitating effect, microwave heating, biological target of normal functions, disease states, mechanism to produce the desired effects, 40 years of research, time to onset, duration of effect, tunability, possible influence on subjects, possible influence, oh yeah, right. Oh, here, if the technology functions approximately as envisioned, the targeted individual, that's what they call them, the targeted individual could be incapacitated within 15 to 30 minutes. Because this technology is focused on a relatively slow onset, it should only be used in situations where speed is not important. The very uncomfortable nature of a high body temperature may be useful in negotiations or possibly for controlling crowds. It would be equally useful on single persons or crowds, and evidence indicates a disruption of working memory. Thus, disorientation may occur because of an inability to consolidate memory of those minutes past. Do you hear that, folks? So if they're hitting on you for 15 to 30 minutes, the evidence indicates a disruption of working memory. Disorientation may occur because of an inability to consolidate memory for those minutes. So for the 15 to 30 minutes of your being microwaved, you will have an inability to consolidate the memory that you would have had between those 15 to 30 minutes. And guess what, folks? When you're sleeping, I guarantee it's more than 15 to 30 minutes. Let's say you're asleep for 4 hours and they're microwaving you for 4 hours. And then you wonder why when you wake up you can't speak. You get out of bed and your legs are vibrating like mine. You can't think. I don't know if you could hear it in my voice sometimes. These criminals have hit me in the left side of my head so often that I have developed sometimes a lisp. I have never had one in my life. I wasn't born with one. I didn't have one. But since I'm in Kentucky, the last 2 years, they have been targeting me so badly. My toenails are falling off, my fingernails, half of my hair has fallen out. These are the most evil, sick, depraved individuals. So I will post a link to, this is a PDF, guys. So I will post a link to this for you. And I'm going to go check on my kitties and check on the weather because the temperature is going to be dropping. It is raining. But I hope everybody is having a good night. And thank you for sharing what the weather's doing by you. I mean, it's crazy that the temperature is increasing in in Arizona when there's a cold blast across the United States. But welcome to the newcomers. We've had quite a few in this past week. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Please like, comment, share if you feel inclined to do so. Also, when you go to the main page here, you know, when you click on, you can click on video, on home, videos, shorts. If you click on community, I periodically post random shares there. Some of them are my personal ones, and some are, you know, videos I may have watched during the week that I really liked, that I wanted to share there, including some music. And thank you, Karen, for recommending several months ago Dimash Kudaibergen. I watch him almost every day. Like, I love his voice. I am enamored by his voice. So, wishing everybody have a good night, Merry Christmas. I'll check in. I'll see what the weather's like tomorrow, but it's supposed to get really bad from tonight to tomorrow, and it's particularly Friday. Friday's supposed to be really bad. But this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, signing off for now.